Shalom. I am Rabbi Nathan Davidovich, speaking to you on behalf of the webyeshiva.org, speaking to you from Efrat, Israel. You look at what's going on in the world today to the Jewish people, and you see so much antisemitism. You see that these Jew haters are doing everything to harass in any way possible the Jewish people, just for being a Jew. And what is happening? A lot of the Jewish people are afraid, certainly in places in Europe, and even now places in America, to show their Jewishness and to show proudly what it is to be a Jew. I'm going to talk in this short Torah lesson about how a Jew should not be afraid to proudly and publicly and sincerely display your Jewish identity. And this is a message that is taught to us from this week's Torah portion. This week's Torah portion is Parsha Ki Tovoh. Ki Tovoh has in it what we call the Tochecha, a list of horrible, horrible curses that will happen to the Jewish people if we don't follow the commandments. And they're enumerated one by one, and it's a horrible list. But right after that list is a list of blessings, saying that yes, we have the Tochecha, we have the curses if we don't follow God. But if we do follow the commandments and do walk in the way of God, then we'll have only blessings. And the concept of learning to be a Jew sincerely and to walk proudly of a Jew can be learned by one sentence in the very beginning of this list of blessings. And the Torah says, V'ra'u kol amei ha'oretz, the people of the world will see, Ki shem Hashem nikro alecha, that the name of God is written upon you, V'yoru mimeka, and they will be afraid of you. This sentence is the subject of many different commentaries. And the Gemara Barachot, the Talmud Barachot, it brings Rabbi Eliezer Haggadah, who says, Elu tefillin shebarosh. He says, when it talks about the name of God upon the Jewish people, it's referring to the tefillin that are on the head. The Jewish men wear phylacteries, tefillin, on their hand and on their head as a sign of the covenant between the Jewish people and between God. So that's how Rabbi Eliezer explains that. And we don't know from that what that has to do with fearfulness. We'll get to that. The Chassam Sofer, he takes a different view on this, and he quotes the Ramban, Nachmanides. And he says that when you have the tefillin on your head, when you show that sign of the covenant between you and God, the people of the world will recognize that the blessing of God is upon us, is upon the Jewish people, in everything that we do. And he says, well, the peoples of the world will understand that it is not just by chance that blessings fall upon the Jew, but if a Jew is not fearful of the way he dresses, not fearful of the way of practicing his religion, and does it proudly, then the people of the world will have respect for him. But what about fear? Let's go a step further. It's illustrated by a story that I heard of the Alter Rebbe of Lubavitch. The Alter Rebbe, the Rebbe of Lubavitch, was in prison. The Russian authorities had a habit of imprisoning the rabbis, those that were prominent. And they did that so that they could instill fear in the Jewish people. They did that sometimes to be able to try to get a bounty for the release of the Rebbe. It was a common occurrence. So the Rebbe got out of jail. He got out of this prison. And he has all his Hasidim around him, and he says, I'm going to tell you a story. One morning, I was in my jail cell, and I had my tefillin on. One on my hand, and the one on my head, the tefillin Shebarosh. And the prison officials came in, the warden came in, and he was so overwhelmed at what he saw, he couldn't stand, he fainted. And he says to his Talmidim, to his Hasidim, he says, do you know why? So they say, why? Why, Rabbi? Tell us. He says, because I was wearing my tefillin on my head. Excuse me, the tefillin Shebarosh, the tefillin of the head. And he was quoting the Gemara that we just mentioned. So the Hasidim looked at him and said, Rabbi, that's a wonderful story. But look at us. We all wear tefillin on our heads. And yet, we have pogroms. The antisemites are against us. They're beating us. They're killing us. They're doing everything to harass us. So I don't understand what you mean by that. The Rebbe says, sorry. You don't understand what the sentence says. Let's look at what it says. It says, it refers to the tefillin Shebarosh. Shebarosh means the tefillin of the head. It doesn't say the tefillin on the head. It teaches us a very important lesson. To be a sincere Jew, God does not want us to wear tefillin as a costume. Does not want us to do commandments by rote, without sincerity. Tefillin Shebarosh means that when you are wearing tefillin, when you are doing any of the commandments, any of the mitzvahs of God, you have to internalize them. Not on top of your head, but in your head, a part of you, a part of your very essence. And when you have that sincerity, and you show that you are truly proud and sincere to be a Jew, then when you walk around, the non-Jews will respect you because they will understand your sincerity. If you're just wearing a costume and just, say, okay, I'm Jewish, but you're not doing anything to show that you're Jewish. And there's many ways of showing that you're Jewish. You're not doing it sincerely, and there's no reason to respect you. But if you are seen as a truly observant Jew, as a person who takes seriously the commandments and are not afraid to show your distinctiveness as a Jew, to not afraid to publicly show that you're not going to hide. You understand that God is going to make everybody fear you if, in fact, you just act according to what God wants. Taking the tefillin inside of us, taking the mitzvos inside of us, that's what God wants. Not just the external signs. Your external sign of once you're doing something, fine, you're having the tefillin on, that's an external sign. If that tefillin is really absorbed within you and a part of your psyche. I urge all of us to not be afraid to show the sincerity of our Judaism, not to hide, but to understand that the non-Jew will respect the Jew who respects God and has a deep commitment to God, not as an outer garment, but as something inside. Show your inside to the world, and the world will respect you as a Jew. Thank you for listening back to the webyeshiva.org. I wish everybody a wonderful Shabbat.